Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And today we're gonna share something amazing with you. We have our special guest, Victory. You join us from United States, yeah. And we will continue with this series of podcasts, how entrepreneurs made the first million, the good, the bad, and the funny of that process. And Victory, before we start, can you please introduce yourself, say your background, what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Victory Harbin, and I'm the owner of a marketing agency here in the United States. Audaciously is the name of our agency, and
Wow, I love it. Brave, yeah.
yeah, it's actually brand new. We just rebranded, so
Wow,
yeah, we're excited to have a new name.
I
and
like the new name. I love
yeah.
it.
And we work with people who provide services to their customers, and we help them tell their story, whether that's through a website that needs content or social media, all sorts of different things. So
Okay, your opinion, Victory, right? Let's talk today about the power of storytelling
yeah.
and how people, the companies out there can bring a very strong brand and have a loyalty, right? A custom-based loyalty just by to sharing their story and continuously enhancing the brand, right? So, what are the process, Victory, that you guys? What is your process? Let's say, for example, I sell shoes, right?
Okay.
And I go to you guys and I said, you know what? I want to sell my shoes more expensive, right? Because at the end of the day, everything is about branding, right? If you are able to communicate this story properly, you will be able not only to sell more shoes, but also to sell it more expensive. I think my girlfriend was telling me that there is one brand of bags, Hermet, I think, yeah,
Yeah,
that costs
Hermes.
how it costs a fortune, and they only give you two, and that's it, right? So imagine the power of storytelling and how powerful is this brand. I don't know the name of the brand, but I know the strategy is really, really powerful in terms of how they are articulating the story and build the brand. So storytelling is so powerful to the point that can rocket the price of your product and make it so unique. So what is behind this process, Victory?
Yeah, so I would say the most important part of marketing in general is knowing your audience and knowing your people and really, really understanding what experience they're looking for from your brand, and B, why they're even interested in spending money. People spend money to end pain or discomfort, or to avoid pain and discomfort. And so when you understand what's causing them pain or making them uncomfortable in their life, then you can tell a story. I think the other thing that's really, really important for us as entrepreneurs is that we are not the hero of the story. Donald Miller wrote a really powerful book called Story Brand. And he basically teaches that in the story, you can position yourself as the hero, or you can position your customers as the hero and you're the guide. And so successful stories position you as the guide to the hero who is your customer. But, when you go to a website and it's we do this and we do that and we're so
Nobody cares.
amazing. Yeah, it's like,
Nobody cares, right?
or I think I just fell asleep.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, I agree 100%. Like, and the copywriting of the website, of your social media, your content out there is key in how we articulate that story. And I don't think that people are really aware, right? People, the what we see all over and over and over is that somebody wants to do a website, and what they call you say, "Oh, I have someone that do the website for 2,000. I have someone to do the website for 10,000. I'm looking for someone for 1,000," and everybody looking try to get a cheap website, and they don't understand that the it's not about the price. It's about how their story could be written and will be told in that website, which is something very complex to do, in my opinion. That's why it's expensive. That's why it couldn't be cheap. Because if
yeah.
it's cheap, then you're writing, we do this, we do that, and there is no story, there is no client engagement there. So let's talk a little bit more about storytelling, because let's face it, if you are selling a product, right? A big part of having your of telling your story, why you're different, and that experience that you bring to a marketplace can actually give you a lot of followers, and then you have a huge avenue there to make more money, because you can have the product direct to consumer, so you don't need to go to the retail, right? So how
Mhm.
important is the brands, the people selling products out there, be aware that if they have a strong social media presence and they can articulate and they have a plan to refine their story and to keep and to build that community, that they are loyal to the product and to the service, you have client for life, and you don't even
Yeah.
have to rely on the wholesale, that it depends so many factors, like chef space, or somebody's come with another product and they remove yours, X, Y, and Z. So how important is for entrepreneurs to look at seriously what is the direct to consumer strategy, and what are the most important things that they should be looking at when they design this direct to consumer strategy in social media?
Yeah. So, I mean, again, if you pay attention to your customers and what they want and what they need and the experience they're looking for, then your content really creates itself, because you are just responding to what your people are telling you, right? So, having a strategy in what you do is super, super important. I always tell people, like, you can throw spaghetti up against the wall and see what sticks, or you can have a game plan. And when you do something, you know it's going to work because you've done the research and you've tested, and you know what what lands right with your customers. And that's definitely what you want to do on social media. You want to have a plan. But we were talking before the show about how people just they just lose, like, I just totally lost my train of
The
thought.
story, yeah, that they lose the main point of the stories, and they are all over the place. And what that do is that they dissolve the brand, right?
Yeah.
Which is very challenging. I think that obviously you guys are doing, you are expert on this, so it sounds very easy to you. Like you said, oh, you just listen what they say and the story tell by itself. Yeah, but it's extremely complex thing, especially when you have to keep this message consistent for all your social media posts for the whole year, for the next 10 years, right? So how we can create the variation of the story, or how can we keep the story in a 360 solution or environment, that actually, because it's a big thing, right, that we find out there in businesses, that without knowing, right, you put the post on social media, and rather than you reinforcing your brand, you are dissolving your brand, because you
Mhm.
put a post and you taking your clients, your customer to a different route, and now you think that's funny, you think that they're gonna love it, but from the branding point of view, you're taking them in a different direction. And we always said in business, if you confuse them, you lose them, right?
Yep. Yeah. So I would say that, one of the most important things on social media to understand is that typically a post only gets seen by 4 to 6% of your followers. And so you have to be very repetitive because of the algorithm, in order to reach your audience. So, like, I used to have a client, and she would say, like, "Oh, don't you think our logo on everything is boring? Like, they get tired of seeing it." I'm like, "No, that's how we build brand awareness. That's how we build um, familiarity and trust and professionalism and authority with our audience." So, being
The whole point is that
repetitive.
they see you all the time, right?
Yeah, you want them to see the same logo and hear the same message. And, from a branding perspective, when you have your key messages figured out, you're just kind of repeating the same thing. It's like Harry. You listen to his content, and when you hear his voice, you recognize him. He's a person with a personality, and he may talk about different things, but the way he talks about it, regardless of what the topic, he's probably using the same vocabulary. He describes things the same way. His mannerisms are the same. And if he suddenly showed up with an Irish accent, we would all be like, "What happened to Harry?" And it's the same thing with your brand. The consistency of how you talk, what you talk about, how you approach topics, how you present things. Like, the consistency is really
Very
what
important, because
builds trust with people.
people do forget about you. I have
Mm-hmm.
experiences in the we used to have a restaurant back in the day, and we have clients that they enjoy the food, and they love it, and they show up after 6 months, and I'm like, guys, hello, how are you? What happened? You didn't like the food? Do we treat you wrong? What's going on? Why you haven't come? And they was telling me, Harry, it's because we forgot about you. Oh my God, that was painful.
I bet.
So it was nothing really. They're happy with the product, they're happy with the service, they're happy with the food, they're happy with everything. They just forgot about me. They forgot about the rest, and eventually somebody told them, and that's why they remember. That's why they come back, right? So that's because your competitors are doing. That's what I
Yeah.
realized, right?
I
The other
I had
restaurant.
a
Go ahead, go
I
ahead.
had I had a similar experience with a good friend of mine offers a service, and I mean, a very good friend. And I hadn't talked to him in a couple of months. And I just simply forgot that that was one of the services that he provided, even though he's my good friend. And then I started looking for a provider of that service,
Wow,
and I almost hired someone else,
wow.
one of his competitors, just simply because, like, we hadn't chatted in a while. And then he
You
happened
forget.
to text me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I almost hired one of your competitors."
Oh my God, this friend will talk to you again. My goodness. Yeah, but this is true. Let's face it. Today we're talking about entrepreneurs, and we want to give them the best tips. And people, we do forget about you. You have consistency is the one of the things that is very important, and you do have to be out there if you are in business. If you are in business, you have to do. If you're not in the social media, you don't exist, right? If you have the wrong message in social media, you dilute your brand, and it's even worse, right? So the companies out there, the entrepreneurs, they need to have a plan, right? A plan how they're
Yes.
gonna get the message, how they're gonna tell the story out there, and have a strategy, right? So how complex is design this strategy, Victory? I guess that you guys specialize in in a sector in particular, or you cover, could be from education to direct to consumer products.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
tend to work with service-based businesses, and we
Okay.
work with a lot of female founders. So
Wow, amazing.
we work
Amazing.
with women who, of course, if a dude needs help, we're not going to turn him away,
Of course, yeah, don't do that.
but
Yeah. We are
we
good
do work
people
with,
also.
I'm sorry.
I said that we boys, we are good people also.
Yeah, we can't forget about the boys. But we work with a lot of female founders who provide professional services. So, and we have a 5-step process that we take our clients through. And the very first step is strategy, because we don't want to start spending money or resources or time or energy or anything
Without
until
having
we
this.
have a plan.
Yeah.
Right.
Can
So,
you walk us through the 5 steps so everybody, if the women listening this podcast, they can get some inspiration? Yeah. Okay. So
yeah.
the first plan is is a strategy, right?
Yeah, so we call it assessing. So we start
I
out by assessing, and then we create our assets. That's the second step. So, and this is a cycle. So businesses are going to go around the circle multiple times in the lifespan of their business, and that's normal and that's healthy. And every time you go through the cycle, the goal is that you level up your business and you increase your business, you get more and new customers. And also the goal is that you get more focused on who you serve each time you go around the circle.
How often you go
So
around the circle? Every year, every 6 months?
I think that the average small business goes through the circle every 2 to 5 years. Because it's definitely not an annual thing that you're gonna reevaluate your logo or your website, and serious assets like that. But I find that the
It is
average
polishing, yeah.
small,
It
you
is
what?
polishing after 2 years,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
brand, the copy to have a review. Yeah, because
yeah.
sometimes what happens is, I mean, you develop a new product, you develop a new service, you
Mhm.
upselling something, and and it's working, right? And that's also has to be communicated effectively, not only in the website, but also in the social media as well. So some polishing needs to be done, right?
Yep.
Okay,
So,
so after you create
so
the assets.
after we create the assets, then we move into the I'm forgetting words today. We move
Don't worry
into
about it.
content. And so in the content phase,
Oh,
we
that's
are,
very difficult. Creating the content. Oh God.
yep. So this is starting to do things on social media. This is creating articles for your website, sending out
Hmm.
newsletters. It's everything that kind of feels like the hamster wheel of marketing, right? It's a
Mhm.
little bit hard to keep up with. Um, and so as you kind of start the engine on the content, you're also thinking about evergreen content. So you're thinking about things like free downloads and email automations And, like, for example, we have a mini course on our website that we've been using for years. We just refreshed it actually. But the mini course teaches you how to write a marketing plan. And that mini course is evergreen content. I originally wrote it 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow.
And I've been able to use it all that time and just refreshed it recently. So, that's the content phase, but you have to have some history of content before you can move into the other steps. So we have assess, assets, content, and then we move into amplify. Amplify is where everybody wants to be because it's things like Google ads, Facebook ads, SEO, anything that helps you start reaching a bigger audience is in that amplify phase. And this is really where
you need to have the foundation properly before. Otherwise, you
absolutely.
amplify the wrong thing, right?
Yep. Yeah, you don't want to
People
put
go
a
like
magnet.
crazy. No. I'm going out there, and if you don't have the foundation properly designed, it could be a
Yeah.
disaster. Then people are complaining, "Oh, Facebook ads doesn't work. I spent 50,000. I didn't make any sales." Yeah,
Yeah.
you hit that a lot. Yeah. No, these ads in social media, whatever, they don't work. I spent a fortune, it didn't work at all, and is it because I think that they haven't looked into properly the previous 3 steps that you share with us? So before you amplify, you have to create a solid foundation. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, you don't want to put a magnifying glass on something that's not ready to be looked at closely. So,
Yeah, because if you have a small mess and you amplify, you're gonna amplify a big mess, right?
yep. Yeah, and part of the assets in the content phase is really making sure that you have that experience for the customer really well defined and prepared so that when more people start going through the funnel, you're ready for them. So, so we have amplify, and then a lot of people stop there, but the final step is authority. And I think this is really where your
Wow.
work, Gary, comes into play because it's things like speaking and going on podcasts and writing books and all these different things that we do to build authority as brands, especially in the service-based business. This is really important because your audience has to trust you. And so we want to really take it to that last step and make sure that we're not just paying for leads, but people are starting to come to us because they see us as the expert. But we can't get there without those other steps because we have to have a foundation. You don't go from a brand new baby business to the expert overnight. And it takes some time to make it around the cycle and really allow your business to mature the right way. So
I agree 100%. Yeah. I think that the reason that if you can do this final step properly, right, and become the authority or one of the authority of the service that you provide in the marketplace, will make a huge difference because client will come to you, right? And also you can charge more for your services, right?
Yeah, you want people to be seeking you out. You don't want to be chasing them down. And when you can, position yourself as an authority, then that shift in the dynamic happens, and that totally changes everything. It changes your bank account. It changes your sales cycle. It changes, your access to talent for your business. It changes everything. So it really can be life-changing when you invest the time in being an authority, but you have to have something to say, which means that you have to really actually have some experience under your belt, and you have to be educated, and you have to know what you're talking about, and you can't give bad advice. And so if you are willing to do the work to get there, then absolutely that 5-step circle that I was talking about, it works. And then when you hit a place where you realize you're plateauing, then it's time to reassess and you start your way around the circle again. So
Fantastic. That I think that this is something, and the one of the basic foundations is storytelling, right? Something that people don't pay attention. I think also how this copy. I think that good copywriters are expensive, right? Because they are we call it on the cover selling, right? So they write a story, they write something about your product, your service in a way that you're reading it, right? And you're loving what you read, but in the indirect, right, is building this brand story that will bring you more clients and work on the direction for you to become the authority in the marketplace, or one of the authorities, right? So this is something which is very difficult. Is a very rare skill to have, and it's also not cheap. A good copywriter is not cheap. We own a book publishing company. We know, right? So what is the secret, right, behind how to communicate the clients? How important is this, right? Because
how important is copywriting?
yeah, because this song is a subject that is very important. But when you talk to an entrepreneur about this, it's like you're speaking in Chinese with them.
Yeah.
They don't understand what you're talking about. They don't know what is important. It's very difficult to articulate the value. So, in your experience, how this could be communicated effectively, so everybody out there that is building a product, that is building a brand, that want access direct to computing, understand how important. We always said that the logo is the head, but the copy is the body, right? It goes together. So, in your opinion, Victory, how you articulate that to your clients so they actually understand how important is a copy, and definitely is nothing that is cheap, because it requires a very high skillful people to come out with that, right?
Yeah. So I would say that the first thing that I explain to my clients is that, a website that looks good and doesn't connect with your audience is useless.
Exactly.
And so we have to tell a consistent story with the imagery, with the video, with the words, with the graphics. It's all telling the same story. And it's really important that there's consistency, because different people absorb information differently. So, for example, I am like a audio learner. So or an auditory learner. So when I need to learn something,
I'm visual, sorry.
yeah, I love listening. I don't, for example, I may take a course. I may not even look at the screen, but I'm listening and I'm absorbing and I'm learning it. And then there's other people who are very analytical and they love numbers and they need statistics, and that's how they're going to really understand the topic that you're talking about. And still others are very visual, right? So a
Like me.
video with flashy graphics.
That's
and
why you see
beautiful-
everything, because I'm visual.
Yeah, because some people are visual learners and that's how they're going to absorb. So it's a package, right? if I build you a beautiful website with amazing graphics and amazing photography, amazing videography, and then I have terrible copy that you wrote in your basement one night at the last hour because you forgot to write it and send it to me, then you've wasted all the investment, whether that's time, money, energy, put into building the website.
Yeah, you're
And
losing
so,
you're losing 30% of the people basically, right?
yeah, yeah,
Because let's face it, 100% agree with you, right? Not all of us learn in a different way. If I tell you a story, you won't believe. A friend of mine, teacher, he's a teacher from Oxford University. He has twins.
okay.
So the boys, they're like, I think, couple of minutes, one after the other one, right? And he's a professor. He teaching in Oxford University. He's a good friend of mine, and he's telling me he sit with me with the twins and tell me, Harry, you see the twins? Same, they have minutes away one from each other, right? They
Mm-hmm.
have completely different way of learning.
Hmm.
One completely different way of learning. They while one learns is auditory, this and that, the other one, so I had to teach them math. He managed to get them because he's a very professor, was one, the twins have been very successful at the school because he knows a lot about accelerating learning and these techniques that you're sharing with us, right? And but because he's an expert in the area, he's telling me, Harry, while one of the twins, I had to put him YouTube so he can learn math with YouTube and this and that. The other one he's sharing with me that is the day and night the difference. So which
Well,
is something that is unbelievable, right? And so if you are creating a website exactly like you say, right, and then you think that, oh, you're gonna have amazing graphics and everything, right? Okay, so you know what, visual people will love your website, but
yeah,
what happened with the auditory, what happened with the kinesthetic, what happened with the analytical people, right? So at the
right.
end of the day, you're selling your product to everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
automatically
so
you're losing, right? Makes sense.
yeah, you have to tell the same story, the same message in all the different formats on your website for it to work.
And also
And
in the social media, right?
yeah,
You
and
will have
then
the same problem, right?
yeah,
Uh,
so copy is going back to your original question with the copy. Another thing that people don't think about is SEO, right? SEO and being found on Google. Not everybody has the kind of audience that Harry has, and so they have to rely on being found on Google. And so being found easily on Google really comes back to, I mean, it's a complicated algorithm, and I won't get into that today, but a huge part of it is keywords and
exactly.
making sure that you're using the right words in the right way, in a way that Google's algorithm can understand, what you're selling and who you're selling it to, and, giving context to Google. And that's an art to write words in a way that work for the robots and the people, right? It
Wow,
has to work
exactly.
in all
Very
the
powerful.
ways.
Yeah, I agree
So,
100%, right? And the
yeah.
people, they don't, Google is not only about letters, he's also listening, right?
Mhm.
So if
Yeah.
in the website you have the copy talking about specific keywords that align with the values and or your product, and then in the same website you have a video and you have an audio
Yeah.
rephrasing the same thing, people think that Google is only looking at the words, but no, he's also listening those videos that you have there. And at the end of the day, it comes to relevance, right? If your
Absolutely.
website, it has videos, audios, copy, all well structured, talking about the reinforcing the same keyword. Of course, when people type, it's Google's job to put in front of you the most relevant page for whatever you type, right? And this, like you
Yeah.
said, is an art. It's an art how to structure this in a way so people can actually be found in Google, which is if I tell you a story, how many people make millions just because of having the SEO right to get that part right, you'll be amazed. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really powerful, really powerful. Can make a huge difference for the business, even for a local business, right?
Oh, yeah.
The SEO for the local business. People think that when you type in Google and you search, everybody see the same thing. It doesn't work like that. It's even depend where you're located, X, Y, and Z. So it can make a huge difference for a local business. So to conclude, Victory, we want us for everyone in listening the podcast and or looking at us in social media, right? We want to share what everybody is waiting for, which is what are the 5 steps that you as an entrepreneur took on board in order to build this company and reach 1 million or more, right? So what was the first step when I you shared before we connect before we start the broadcast that you started your business 7 years ago? So what was the first step? What was the first step that make you to take the decision that, oh, you know what, I'm going for it, I'm gonna build my own business, I'm gonna have my marketing agency, and which is something very risky thing to do, to start your own business. So what happened?
Okay, so I had to make notes for this so that I could make my way through and keep.
Don't worry, the auditors are listening, they don't care.
But really the first step is having a dream, right? So tapping into that side of you that daydreams and thinks of what could be and imagining the future, that's important. And
so where this dream come from? Your parents are entrepreneurs? Is your friend? Somebody at work? So what happened? Where did you saw something in the TV? So this dream didn't come by itself. What happened?
Yeah, so this is actually my second business.
Oh, wow.
Right. I started another business and sold it. But
what was the previous business about?
The previous business was an IT company.
Oh, wow.
And IT is not my thing, but I did the marketing. And I helped an ex-partner start a business. It was his dream. And I had never been exposed to entrepreneurship before that. My parents worked regular W-2 jobs. I guess that's not a global term, but in the US we call it a W-2 job.
What is that?
And W-2 is the form that employees fill out for their taxes. So we call it W-2. There's a little bit of American culture for it. But yeah, my parents worked regular jobs. My dad worked in construction design. He did truss design, and my mom is a nurse. So
well, it didn't come from home. Probably from home came the opposite. You crazy? You want to have your own business?
They said, you're 22 and you're starting a business? Why? You need to get a job. But yeah, so we started this business, and I was exposed to a completely different side of the world, right? I met
IT is very male dominant also, right?
Yeah, it is, trust me.
Maybe that's why you're working with women now.
Yeah, so is marketing though. Marketing,
yeah, I agree 100%.
Is very male dominated. And so I just discovered entrepreneurship and my life changed. And then I saw the struggle that entrepreneurs had, where they had this amazing dream and amazing business, and people weren't finding them. And I said, man, marketing is what these people need, and they need it in a way that is accessible and strategic and done in a way that it doesn't just like burn through their resources. Like it has to work or they shouldn't pay for it. And so, yeah, that's where my dream came from. And I'm what you call an accidental agency owner. I didn't ever say, today is the day I'm going to start my agency. It really found me because I was doing the marketing for another company, and my friends and my family and clients and people that I knew started approaching me and asking
Can
me
you
to
help
help
me
them with
out?
their
Can you help me
marketing.
out like that, right?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I realized I'm making more money doing marketing than the IT. What am I doing? And so that's when, this business was born.
Yeah. Sometimes the entrepreneur,
So
we start our journey by accident. Yeah. We have a
mhm.
product, we have a lot of people that want it, we sell it, and oh, we are in business.
Yeah, but that's the best way because then you've already validated the service, the idea, you've already validated everything, and then you just have to like slap a name on it and you've got a business in a box. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so having a dream and clinging to it. Because I always say that a lot of entrepreneurs they lose their dream muscle, right? Because you start out with this amazing dream, and then it becomes about making payroll and
Yeah. Admin
keeping up with the demand and the
operation.
grind and the hustle, and you lose your why, right? You have to really cling to that dream, the reason why you started all of this. Otherwise, you're going to burn out. Like you can't
Yeah. You're gonna
sustain
lose
it.
fuel, yeah.
Yeah.
And then talking
So,
about this dream, like for me, for example, it happened. I had similar experience, right? It just everything just happened by accident. I have similar. I was doing a real estate business back then. Yeah,
okay.
we have people that want to rent the rooms. We have the properties. All of a sudden, we we making profit, we making money, and we realize that I'm in business by accident, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you start a beautiful journey, right? That again, my parents are teachers, right? All what I hear from them was, "You crazy?" Every time that I told my mom I'm gonna expand my business, she was like, "No, please, please don't do it. It's fine, it's fine. Why you need more? No. She's trying to think. Oh my God, expanding these more risks. Oh God, no. So, um, it's not for everyone, right?
Mm-mm.
But at the end of the day, we give you a sense of fulfillment when you make a difference in your clients, right? When you actually can provide something. I actually congratulate you and applaud you for work with women, right? I think that I always say the riches are in the niches, right?
Yeah.
And who can communicate better with women than another women? Who understand a women entrepreneur better than another women entrepreneur? You know,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
marketing logo. Yes, a very male dominate industry, and it doesn't have to be this way. At the end of the day, like I said, women they can communicate better with women, and women entrepreneurs can communicate better with women entrepreneurs the same way
Yeah.
males communicate. Okay, so after we have this dream, and regardless that we don't have any role model in our family or in our friends. Actually, what happened with me, I lost my friends, right? Because when I started the business, all of a sudden I'm talking about a topic that nobody cares, nobody want to talk about. So I lost even my friends, had to find new friends. Thy own business,
Yeah.
otherwise I have nothing to talk about when I go out for a bit, right? So it's very, and you started very young with 22. Oh my God. So what happened
Hmm.
to you? You lost your friends also like me?
Yeah. My
Or you
my
just go with them anyway?
My friend group definitely has changed over the last 10 years. I've been an entrepreneur now for 9, 10 years, and the people that I surround myself with are very different, but that's okay. It's not it's not a loss. I have amazing people in my life now who uplift me and support my dreams and teach me things, and I also had amazing people in my life back then. It's just different now.
It changed,
So
right? Yeah, and
yeah.
we just need to be with it, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
just go with it.
very good.
So
And then, okay, go ahead.
number two
Uh-huh.
is take action. So there's a goal by Nathaniel Brandon. A goal without an action plan is just a daydream. And so having a dream is important, but a daydream doesn't get us anywhere. So we have to take action, and we have to actually start moving our feet and moving in that direction. And so that requires a lot of bravery and ignoring the warnings of your mom and your dad and your cousin and your aunt, and doing something that seems counterintuitive, which is sometimes quitting a corporate job. And sometimes it's walking away from secure income. And sometimes it's taking a pay cut. Whatever it is, spending money on something that you're not sure you're going to get a return on investment on. Like, those risks lead to rewards that the rest of the world can't understand. And so they're not coming at you from a bad place. They're warning you because they care about you, and that's okay, but they don't understand what you're doing. So you have to take the risk. You have to take action.
Yeah, and don't stick to it because and I stick to it because something that happened. I think that you've shared with me the similar experience when you were working in the IT company. You say, "Hey, I'm making my money with the marketing." So this is a real story. It happened to me, right? I got attached, because I was scared and I was scared to take that action, right? I remember I was having a job. I having a job, and I was doing room service in the Hilton here in London. Right?
Okay.
And parallel, I built my business, right? And this is how the mindset about the taking action. Yes, I was maybe for if I rent two rooms, I will make £1,000, which is the same money that they will pay me to, and I can rent two rooms in a day, right? And was the same money that they will pay me for 40 hours per week.
Wow.
And I got attached to this because it was that sense of safetyness. Okay, I have my business, but I do have a job. And if something goes wrong with the business, I do have that job.
You have that
Until I
safety
didn't
net.
burn the ships, and I said, that's it, I'm quitting. That gave me space for this massive action that you're sharing with us, and the rest is story. Yeah, 17 years. So so how difficult is to really go for it, because you have your security, your job, and everything, and yeah, you have a business making a lot of money, and what you do, and to take this massive action, you have to choose and really go for it, right?
Yeah. I remember the day that I quit my last job,
You don't
and
forget, yeah.
I sat down with my boss and I said, I've started this business and it's going well, and this is my 2 weeks notice. And she was like, of course, she also tried to talk me out of it. So,
Of course,
but
because you're
that's
very good,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody
So,
will try to talk you out of it, yeah. Especially
yeah.
your employer, yeah. The whole job is to make you comfortable to stay, yeah. What you need,
Yeah.
stay.
What are you going to do for insurance? I said, I'll figure it out.
Wow, yeah, it needs an amazing drive, right? So then what would be the step 3 after people take this massive action and really go for it for real? Meaning, I'm quitting my job, I'm gonna go for it with everything I got, yeah? What is number 3?
So the third one I've kind of already talked about, but it's important, so it's worth repeating. It's pay attention to your audience. Pay attention to your customers. Really, 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 really
What that
know
means, pay
them.
attention to the customer, because it looks very theoretical. What is
Yeah.
it? What is it? Pay
Yeah.
attention.
So know who they are to the point that you understand the way they think, the words they use, the things that make them uncomfortable, the reason why they need your service. Like, talk. I always tell people, you don't need market research, software, and all this stuff. Just talk to the people who are in front of you. Like, the customers that you're already doing business with, get to know them. Understand, why do you want to buy my shoes? Understand, why did you choose me as your accountant? Understand, well, why do you need an accountant? What makes you nervous about money? What makes you nervous about your taxes? Get to know who they are as people, and you will start to see trends. You will start to say, I'm hearing the same thing over and over and over again in different ways. And so that's what my marketing needs to be about, because this is the reason that, like, for example, I work with a lot of female founders, and a lot of the women that I work with really resonate with my same experience of being a woman in a male dominated world. My best friend, she owns, or she's she's part of a business in a totally male dominated industry. And even her customers will say, what are you doing? Like, people aren't used to seeing women at that table. And so I love that quote, like, if they don't give you a seat at the table, build your own damn table. Like, so that's what my audience resonates with, that they're making their own table and they're creating their own future, and they're taking risks, and they're doing it as a woman who sometimes aren't always welcome at that particular table, and they're doing it anyways.
And they're amazing in business, yeah? They're amazing.
Yeah.
In my, I usually, in my first business, I always hire women, yeah? And I discovered this in the very early age of my business. So we have a proportion 3 women for one boy, and the reason for that is I noticed that women, they were more assertive. They will tell you the truth. They will tell me, Harry, this doesn't work because of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, they go, we are friends, this and that. They will never tell you exactly what is the problem, but we find ourselves women very assertive, that they get working with me. They couldn't, my managers, they couldn't cope with it. When they didn't like something, they say straight away, and that was very, very helpful to grow the business faster, because you actually know what is the problem. You actually know that you have a problem that had to be solved, had to be addressed. Something is going wrong. And they will tell you, women, they're very assertive. I think on the same way that when you invite the women for a date, they say to you, no, I'm not gonna go out with you. I say, why? No, because you're ugly. They will tell you straight away. In the same way that they tell the boys they do in the business, which is amazing. If you're running a company, I will tell you, hire more women. You will be a mix. How quickly you will find out the problems and they get solved, right?
Yeah, I have a all-female staff that wasn't intentional. It's just how it turned out.
Happened, yeah.
Trust me, if I do something
wrong.
I
know. I do this. I make millions out of this concept. I invented that a long time ago.
But that's good. I need to be aware of my flaws, and I need to be aware of how I can run the business. Like, I'm so thankful for that. That's such a gift that my team gives me. So I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah, very good. And also align with your brand as well, right? You're helping the women, but you're doing it by example, because it's sometimes not authentic. Oh, I'm helping women, and then you have all the team, everybody full of boys. No, you are 100% aligned with the majority. It's not that you're not taking any boys, but the the women entrepreneurs that you're helping, they're the priority, right? And clearly you're engaging and communicating with them, right? So then what would be the next step?
Yeah, so I would say the next thing is to embrace structure. As someone who is a little bit of a free spirit, and a little bit all over the place, structure and organization and standard operating procedures and routine are a good and beautiful thing. So, business does not thrive in chaos, and you have to have structure. And this is probably my weakest point as an entrepreneur. I'm so blessed to be surrounded by people who are amazing at organizing and keeping me in line. So
Yeah.
I am just incredibly blessed with people who will call me out when I didn't follow the SOP.
For sure, the women, yeah.
And who
the boy will tell
will
you, that's fine, you do it late.
who will clean up my mess behind me. Sometimes I'll stick my hands in a web project and they're like, no, it needs to be like this, and I have it, so they come and fix it. So in structure, embracing structure is not natural for all of us.
Of course not. Tell me about it.
It really is the key to scaling a business. So
yeah, I think that basically to find the part that try to find to fulfill your weakness with people, with brilliant people that they are better than you in that, right? In our company, I'm a creator, right? So I'm always creating things, yeah. So when we hire the people, said, and a creator come, no, I create. I said, no, we don't need creators. Creator we have is enough. We need doers. Somebody that come and take the creation and put it to plan and actually do it. For creating, we already have enough. So I think that it's about finding the what is the, or what, find that team that complement and can do actually, because let's face it, we cannot be 100% good at everything, right? So as soon as we are able to spot our weakness and embrace it, like you're saying, right? Like you said, that this is your biggest challenge, but look, even you put it as a step of your process, like, basically pay attention to your weakness, right? And embrace it, which is a very difficult thing to do, right? And then what would be the final step that everybody listening out there should be taking in consideration in order to build the business?
Yeah, don't be afraid to evolve. So I can say personally, I have been on a crazy journey of entrepreneurship. I started out in IT, and then I sold that business, and then I started this business. And this business has changed over the last 7 years in so many ways.
Even now you're rebranding, right?
Yeah, like we just rebranded. We used to be the social brand, and now we're audaciously. So we got a new name, a new logo, a new website. Everything's new, but that evolution is part of where we're going. And so if I don't go with it and I don't embrace the change and the way that the market is leading me, then I become irrelevant. And that's not my
listen to the
goal.
market. You have to listen to the clients. You need to listen what they want. You cannot, like I said, this is a process. We cannot put in a way what we want to say or what we want to sell in front of what they want to listen, what they want to buy, right? So it's completely different. And the more you develop that skill, and when you start the business, after 7 years down the line, a lot of things change, because by listening to your clients, you'll reshape your product. I always say to people developing products out there that taking time and time and time to developing the product, and say, look, sell it, put it out there. The clients will refine it for you, right? That you think, oh, what they want. As soon as you give it to them, they will tell you exactly what they like, what they don't like, and you will know very quickly how to move in that direction. And maybe every business out there, you start initially with the product, with the service, and yeah, you sold it. But the more time happens, the more you listen to your clients, the more you find out that if you deviate or you move in a little bit to another direction, this is exactly what they want, because by they buying the previous product, they've been feeding you. So are the clients who finally help you, if you listen to them, to polish your product, to create this rock star product that everybody love and everybody follow you around, right?
Yeah. I mean, the market will tell you where you need to be if you listen. So all of my 5 steps kind of work together, right? Having a dream, but having action behind the dream, talking to your audience and knowing them, having structure, but also still being willing to evolve. Like, it all works together in a way that creates a beautiful balance of a business.
And it's very brave to do the rebranding, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
It comes with the word audacity. Oh my God. Last time that we rebrand something cost me $250,000, yeah? So the rebranding is something that, especially you change the name, is very, very brave. But I think I love it because it's short, direct to the point, and reflect what you're doing, with the women, and you take it a brave step and move forward. So I love it. Yeah, whoever came with it, tell that Harry said that it's a brilliant idea. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
But it still requires a lot of audacity to move forward with the new brand, right? So now it's like you started the business again.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like all my friends and families and cousins and aunts are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Just trust me, guys. Done this for a minute now."
I'm listening to my clients. This is what happening. But I mean, it's a natural process, and people sometimes, when the people get stick to the old paradigm and the company that they cannot evolve, this is when failure comes.
Blockbuster is a great.
People don't see it coming. I say, well, you go old. You didn't evolve. You didn't move on, right? You stick with the old product and the old message and the old thing, and times are changing, clients are changing, things are changing, right?
Yeah.
So this is the whole point. So I want to thank you so much, Victory, for joining our podcast. Any last message that you have for women entrepreneurs out there?
Yeah, I would just say dream audaciously, because you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. And for all of you listening, we actually need to bring more women entrepreneurs to this podcast. Yeah, a lot of males are coming, so we need more women. So if you're a woman out there that have a story to share, how you start your journey as an entrepreneur and go through the obstacles and make your first million, we will love to have you here, because we need more women in this podcast, right? So thank you so much, Victory. Thank you so much for the nice work you're doing. So if somebody's listening this podcast and want to know more about you, about what your team and can do for them, so what how they can find you?
Yeah, I would say the easiest way to find me is on my website, audaciously.agency.com. And yeah, you can learn all about me and find me on social media and all the things. So audaciously.agency.com.
So by typing that in Google, they got you, they can write you a message, they can get access to you, right?
They can find me.
Very good. Yeah, I'm sure that you're gonna make sure that everything is spotless, so people can find you easy. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
they're not gonna have any challenge finding you. Yeah, you're very good. So thank you so much for your time, and for you guys listening and women listening this podcast and or looking at us in the social media. I'm looking forward to meet you again in our next episode. How entrepreneurs make the first million, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the funny. So see you next time. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.